Alright, hey people on YouTube land, Zach Hall back here with Channel Bible Fanatics, and today we're going to do the king of wide margin reviews. So on the left hand here, I have the Allen wide margin, R.L. Allen Believer Clarendon wide margin, and on the right I have the Cambridge Concord wide margin. Now I got this one as a gift, and this one I bought when I was younger and just had some money and I wanted a wide margin. Both of these are just high quality, so I want to do a comparison for anyone who's thinking about getting one of these. And then you can see it for yourself, kind of compare it, see which one you like better. So getting into it, the Allen has a natural goat skin cover, and comparing the two, now when we get to this level of quality, you're really nitpicking. So when I nitpick, realize that it's not like one's way better than the other one, but there are things I've noticed. So the cover for the Allen is definitely softer. Cambridge is a little bit more rugged, but it's still nice, so you can kind of hear that it's a little bit, that sounds a lot more smooth. The difference too might be the fact that this is a leather lined, so this is actual calf split, which does make this softer and more flexible, whereas the Cambridge has the polyurethane here, so you see that shiny, clear material, and it makes it soft. I mean, it's not like it's, it's edge lined, and this polyurethane is really strong material. However, it's not as flexible as the Allen is. The Allen's way more flexible, feels nicer. Also, the difference is going to be the yap. So you can see here, the Allen has a mid yap, so it's not full, but it's definitely generous. So you can see that's going to bend over the text block really well, pinch up. The Cambridge is going to look more like a classic. It's just going to have right almost to the edge. Does have a little overhang, but there's not going to be much. I mean, you're not going to get much yap at all. And then the ribbons, you get 2 ribbons of the Cambridge. Now, this is a little bit of an older edition, so the ribbons may be a little bit better than this. But bar none for me, the Allen ribbons are better. You have the Beresford. You get 3 ribbons. They're a little bit thicker, a little bit better quality. Cambridge, you get 2 ribbons. The head and tail bands, you see the Allen has the white, and then the Cambridge has the standard red and yellow that they're famous for. And then getting the inside, so we talked about that as a calf split liner, so this is a lot more soft, feels really good. You do have a gilt line. Now my Cambridge is a little bit older, so this is it doesn't have perimeter stitching. The Cambridge now has perimeter stitching, and it doesn't have the gold gilt line. But you can see it has a polyurethane. They're both tabbed into the block, so they're really high quality. The Cambridge is going to have just a really basic presentation page, and that's it. There's no family records section. And then you're going to get into your title pages. It does have the translators to the reader and the epistle dedicatory. In the Allen, you're going to have a little bit thicker of an end sheet. You're going to have a couple cardstock. And then you're going to have this family record section here, which I really like. So if you're someone who likes family record section, that's definitely a plus for you. Then you have the title page. You're going to have only the epistle dedicatory in the Allen. Okay, so that you don't have the translators to the reader. And then you'll get your index there after you get through translators to the reader and the epistle dedicatory in the Cambridge. You'll have your index there as well. And then we get to the text. So I'm going to try to lay this out here for you guys to see. It's hard to do a review with these 2 big Bibles here. All right. Okay, so I'll just give you a look. Comparison of Genesis here. So you can see there's going to be a margin all the way around the text on both of these. The margin for the bottom and the Cambridge is, well, it looks like it's about the same. Now the Cambridge is slightly bigger. It's going to look the same because of the yap, and I'll show you that there in a little bit, but the Cambridge is actually a little bit bigger. The margin on the side is the same size. You do get a bigger margin on the top, though, in the Allen. And then the inside margin on the Allen is actually slightly bigger as well. It's really nice. And then Cambridge, you still do get a generous margin there though as well. You can see the gild on the Cambridge is going to be more of a pinkish salmon. So it's not going to be as deep. It's still really nice. I like Cambridge's art gild. It's not for everybody, but it's just a nice classic pink salmon color. Looks really good. Allen's is amazing. I love this blue. This is like one of my favorite art gilds. It's a nice, intense ice blue. Now this was the Silverline edition. Obviously Allen has many editions of their Briefer Clarendon. But just flipping through here so you guys can get a comparison of the text. Okay, so that's what they're going to look like. So they're a similar layout. Now the difference here too is going to be in the center column references. The Allen is going to have the little asterisks and the little numbers and letters in the text, and that's going to reference you to here. Cambridge's cross-reference system is a little bit better. That's just my opinion. But so you have, instead of the little letters and numbers, you're going to have the bold figure reference, which means it's going to be right next to the verse you need it on. So if it's on the left side here, if the number is on the left side, it's going to be on the left column. If the number is on the right side, it's going to be for the right column. And it's always going to be right next to your verse. So it's super close. You can always find it. And then that way it leaves no little tags in the text. So there's no distraction. Now the paper quality, they both, I believe this one was printed in, I think this was printed by Youngblood. It might have been printed in Great Britain. Let me check that out real quick. Okay, so now this is printed in the Netherlands. So it was printed by Youngblood. So this is the same color of paper. That's what I wanted to say. Is it's kind of an off-white color, but it makes the black text really pop off the page and just give it a really nice look and easy readability. So you guys can see that the readability really is pretty good. The text in the Clarendon is slightly bigger. This is a 9.6 font, or a 9 font, I believe it is. This is going to be a standard 8. However, the spacing, the line spacing and the letter spacing in the Cambridge is slightly better than in this one. However, this is really easy to read. The font's a little bit bigger in this one, so it does have a little bit more readability. Now the thing is with the tags in it, sometimes this does get distracting, whereas this is a cleaner text for you. The book pages for the Clarendon will be in the middle, or the where it tells you like 2 Kings 17, so the chapter and verse and everything, that's going to be in the middle, whereas on the Cambridge it's going to be on the outside. And you have the running header on the inside gutter, whereas on the Clarendon it's on both sides of the chapter of the book you're in. In the Clarendon also you're going to get chapter introductions. They're very short but very good and to the point. In the Cambridge you will not get chapter introductions. It just goes straight into the text. Both of these are black letter. And as far as the paper is concerned, the Allen's paper is way thicker. The Allen is a 45 GSM paper, which is really thick and is very opaque. And the Cambridge is a 38 GSM. So the Cambridge is slightly thinner. The Allen's going to be a slightly thicker paper. And I'll try to show you notes from both real quick. And then both are black letter. I did say that, just so you know. So these do not come in red letter editions. Okay, so you can kind of see I used an 005 Pigma Micron. Barely any ghosting there. No bleed through at all. And that's where I wrote. So you can see I put a lot on there, and yet there's no bleed through. And there's barely any ghosting, and that's on the white space. So you're going to see it, but it's hard to see. You can see the text here, that there's literally no bleed through on the text. The Cambridge is a little bit worse, and again, when we get to this range, when I say a little bit worse, it's like almost not even comparable. So the Cambridge is really opaque paper. You can't really see behind this stuff anyways, so don't worry about that. But the Allen is a little bit thicker paper. And let me get to some notes here in the Cambridge. So here's kind of a busier page. You can So I see a difference. I use different colors here. So you can kind of see how that's taking to the paper. So it does really well. I can write on top of it from the other side and still read what I wrote on this side, which is a sign of really high quality paper. So either way, your paper's going to be high quality there. Now when we get to the back matter, this is where it starts to kind of differ. So the Cambridge is going to have a bunch of extras in the back here. So you'll get to Revelation, and then you're going to have a short glossary of biblical usage. So kind of some words that maybe have gone outdated in the King James, they are going to update those for you with a modern equivalent in the back. Whereas in the Cambridge, you're going to get straight into your notes section. So there's 13 pages here for notes. So that's actually 26 pages front and back. So it's going to give you a lot of writing space, a lot of things to put ideas, sermons, prayers, maybe travel log or something. And you're going to get into the index of the maps. In the Cambridge, you'll have that short glossary of biblical usage, and then you'll go straight into your concordance. And the concordance in the Cambridge is really big. It's going to be a really, really big concordance. So you're going to get a lot of references in here and everything. And then with the Cambridge, they did update it in the new one. Now mine has 26 blank pages, all alphabetized, so A through Z. On the new one, just be aware if you do get it, it's going to be 2 letters to a page. So you would have H and I on the same page, A and B would be on the same page, so on and so forth there. Now in the back, the Cambridge, bar none, has the most note paper. So you have the 26 blank pages. You do have that here. I believe you have the 13, which is 26 pages there. So you have a little bit more here, and then you're going to have, I believe it's close to 76 pages of lined note paper in the back. It is just a ton. So if you're a note taker, if you're a guy who's a deep thinker, you're really theological, you have a lot of illustrations, you have a lot of sermons you would like to put in here, I don't know how you would go wrong with the Cambridge. To me, I can't even imagine filling all this thing up. Like, it's just so much paper. It really would take a lifetime, unless you're just writing extensively on something. But I'm trying to get to the end so you can see how much. So there's that. So that's probably a good 1/4 inch of paper just for writing. So all lined paper, you know, so that's, again, it's just a lot of paper. And I've done a lot of writing in it, you know, so you can see, put to some use. And it's the same paper as the Bible paper, so it's going to be that 38 GSM. And you'll get all of that, and then you'll get to your maps in the back. So you do get a map index with the Cambridge as well. Then you would get into your maps. So here we have the map index for the Oxford, Bereaver, Clarendon, Wide Margin, and then you're going to have Oxford maps. Now, as far as the maps go, I would be more of a Cambridge guy on the maps. I think their maps are just a little bit more colorful, a little bit more detailed. Oxford's are a little bit more bland. Still really good, though. They do have a lot of detail, a lot of... I like how it has the topography. You can see the mountains and all that stuff in it. So it's very nice. Cambridge is going to have slightly more maps in it as well. I think it has about 15 or 16 maps. So, let's see here. Yeah, okay, so 15 maps in the Cambridge, and then you're going to have 9 maps in the Oxford. Now, at the back of the Oxford Wide Margin, you do get 8 lined papers. So, or this might have been 16. I had my paper somewhere where I actually wrote it out. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so yeah, 8 pages. So that's going to be 16 pages for you back and front. And then in this one, when you get to the back, you go straight into the cardstock section. And then it's tabbed into the block. Here you have Allen binding by Royal Youngblood. Have that beautiful gilt line again. On the spine here, you're going to have Holy Bible on Allen. No raised hubs, just the tooled, which are very nice. You do have a line all the way around the edge there. And then on this one, you have silver gilding instead of gold. And on the Cambridge, after you get to the back, you would have all those cardstocks. So that'd be the kind of the same there. Cambridge, you'll have Holy Bible, King James Version, wide margin, the crest for Cambridge, and then the tooled hubs as well. And the difference is Cambridge has the gold with the red. Show you a comparison real quick of how big each one is. So with the Yap, they're the same footprint. But you can tell here at the edge, I'll try to get a better shot of this. Try to line up those spines. Okay. Now it's not much of a difference, but you can see the Cambridge text block actually extends out a little bit further than the Allen, whereas the Allen has the Yap, which makes this look the same. But if I were to curl that back, you can see that that is slightly shorter. And then when we churn it, you're going to see that you can see it comes down about right there and right there. So it's slightly less wide and it's slightly shorter, but it is, however, thicker than the Cambridge due to that 45 GSM paper. So you can see just a touch thicker than the Cambridge. So now for wide margins, guys, you have to keep this in mind, okay? So these are top of the line. You're going to get margins all the way on all the sides, so it's very beautiful. You're going to get all the paper in the back and everything. For that size, for what's in here, these are very, very manageable to carry. So they're very easy to carry for the size. Now, they're big Bibles, okay? They're wieldy. You got a lot of heft here. But if I was going to carry one or the other, I would probably say I want to carry the Allen just because I like the feel of it in the hand. It is a little bit shorter and a little bit less wide, and so therefore it's got a little bit more manageable of a footprint, but the Cambridge is thinner, so that does give you a certain advantage there. And then of course there's a difference between whether you like the Oxford printing or the Cambridge printing. But there it is, guys. So that's a comparison between probably the two best wide margins you could possibly get on the market today for the King James. You've got the Cambridge Concord here on the right, the Allen on the left. Now, retail-wise, you can get these on Evangelical Bible for around $200 when they do come out. So $200 for these. The Cambridge, I believe, is somewhere around $180, $190 on Evangelical. However, retail from Cambridge, it's like $315. So it is cheaper to get an Allen if you're just going straight by retail. But if you go to Evangelical Bible, it's going to be a little bit cheaper to get the Cambridge, just a little bit. But if you like the Yap and all the other stuff, it's only $20 more to get this. So there's the difference. But I hope this has been a blessing to you. Hope it was informative. If you do have any more questions about something maybe I missed or maybe something clarify, I would love to do that for you. But I hope this video is a blessing. Take care and God bless.